Welcome Planeswalkers to the Collector Mania YouTube channel. My name is Eric Ward, and today we are doing a Commander 2018 deck tech for Brudiclad, Telchor Engineer. As normal, if you could, like, comment, subscribe. If you are subscribed, hit the bell for notifications when we post. We'll be doing quite a bit for Commander 18. So, if you haven't seen Brudiclad, Telchor Engineer, he is 4 and Izzet for a 4/4 Artificer. Creature tokens you control have haste. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 2/1 blue Myr. You may choose a token you control. If you do, all other tokens become a copy of that token. So the idea of this deck is to build up a force of tokens, make a token copy of something really good, or luck into a really good token to begin with, copying stuff, some graveyard stuff with a few cards, and then copying all your tokens into that amazing token and killing some people. So I will comment, we don't have any infinite combos. A great include would be cards like Kiki Jiki, anything like that, especially in these colors. I did not include those, but those would be great ones to add if you wish. So let's break into it. First, we've got Karn as our Planeswalker here. The plus and -1 are really good, but we're looking at that -2 to make a construct token equal to number of +1 or the artifacts we have. Imagine having 10 of these guys that all count each other or more. You'd kill the whole board pretty easily, I'd imagine. First creature, Hangerback Walker. Great way to kind of make a threat over time, adding +1 counters, and then when he dies, just getting a bunch of Thopters out of him. So, Burnished Heart, some good land ramp. Chasm Skulker, another great card that deals with incremental, like overtime growth, and then you cash him out when he dies for a bunch of squids. So, awesome way to generate some tokens. Felden here is one of our first examples of how to get a good creature into token form. So if your good creature's in your graveyard, activate his ability, make a token of it. It's got haste, it's gone next or the end of this turn, but at combat you can copy all of your tokens into that token with Brudiclad. Sai Master Thopterus, again looking for some artifact synergy. There's a lot of artifact spells, so when you cast an artifact, you get a Thopter. Fairy Artisans, another great one. If you don't have it, pick it up. Hopefully this gets a reprint. But a great way to kind of keep your opponent thinking about what they're going to play, because you're going to get a copy of it as well. So imagine anything awesome like Avenger of Zendikar. Somebody may not play that. Imagine copying that and then on your turn getting a whole bunch of them. It'd be insane. Hellrider, of course, this is one finish. You don't even have to have effective tokens if you're just going to swing and kill somebody. Or if you make copies of Hellrider, say, and they all swing at somebody, make Felden, make a copy of Hellrider, all of your tokens become Hellriders, now you're getting a million triggers to kill stuff. It's going to be nuts. Jorah, again, a little bit of card draw for historic spells, given we have so many of them. Ogre Battle Driver, just some more haste and a little bit more pumping if we get some other tokens, that sort of thing. Reform, a great source for some tokens that kind of worm their way up, no pun intended, I guess. Going from an 0/1 that doesn't have a token, but a 3/3 token, a 6/6 token, and a 9/9 token, and they all can kind of evolve that way. So that would be nuts. Solemn, typical, land securing and card draw. We have one of our 2 myriad cards. Again, imagine Feldening this creature, or say Mimic Vat, you'll see that in a bit. Getting this guy as a token, copying all your tokens into him, swinging with myriad, you'd have essentially 3 of these, one swinging at everybody for every token you had. It'd be out of hand. Citra Geralf, a great activated ability here to kind of mill the top 3 for everybody. You kind of smash 2 creatures together and get a big creature. So if you luck out, you get something really good. If you don't, you still exile 2 creatures, and then get a big token that you can turn all of your tokens into. Hellkite Tyrant, one of our alternate win cons here. There are a lot of artifacts you can make with this deck. So if you can get 20 or more and make it to your upkeep, you can win the game. Inferno Titan, similar to the Hellrider, just looking to copy him and say get that swing effect and just blast everybody for 3 if you can get this guy into a token copy. Again, counting on Felden and Mimic Vat. Scuttling Doom Engine, same sort of thing. If you can make a copy of this guy, copy all your tokens into him, and then sack them somehow, everybody's just going to be taking 6. It'll be nuts. Sharding Sphinx, again, a great way to add more Thopters when your artifacts deal damage. Another token generator. Locust God, same sort of thing, token generator with some draw and a reshuffle if needed. Wormcoil Engine, a great card, kind of the only lifelink in the deck. You might make yourself a bit of a threat, so if this guy dies, making a bunch of 3/3 lifelinkers, not too bad. Or Death Touchers if you need to clear the board. Mirror Battlesphere is another great one. Imagine turning all of your tokens into mirrors, tapping them, making Mirror Battlesphere plus X plus O, and dealing extra damage to target creature that they're attacking, or the Battlesphere is attacking. You can knock somebody out in one punch. Pentavis, another source. You could reanimate this guy, make a bunch of tokens of him, that sort of thing, or just make a bunch of Pentavis tokens to change into other stuff. Udvara Hellkite, another target for a token generator, making a 6/6 dragon when this one attacks, and then they'd all become dragons on the next turn. After you copy it with Brudiclad, they'd all make another dragon every time, so a great way to kind of ramp up the destruction. Desolation Twin, I think, is the tippity top of our curve on creatures, making a 10/10 Eldrazi, and then copying your mirrors into Eldrazi. Not too bad either. Into artifacts, some expedition maps, just typical grab your land, looking for probably Reliquary Tower in this one. Sensei's Top, just for some top manipulation. Soul Ring for some ramp. Signet Ramp, Swiftwood Boots to either keep Brudiclad safe or maybe your best token that you want to make copies of. Treasure Map, just again to get some gold counters. Those are tokens as well, so you can turn those treasure into something else or vice versa. Ashnod's Altar, of course, a sack outlet just to get us up there. Brudiclad does cost quite a bit as far as 6, I'd say. You want to maybe do this a bit sooner with some side tokens or something. A good way to ramp him out. Commander Sphere, more ramp and a draw card in a pinch. Is it Cluzone? Same sort of thing. Mimic Vat here, of course, like I said, a great way to get pretty much anything on the board into a token form that we can use. So, again, imagine I always think Avenger of Zendikar. You can imprint that, get a whole bunch of tokens at your combat, flip them into something else. Something better comes along, you ditch that and get something else and print it on the Mimic Vat. A great card. Helm of the Host. My goodness, is this card amazing. At the beginning of combat, make a token of something. So, and it's non-legendary. It wouldn't help Brudiclad too much, but just getting tokens on the board of your good stuff. And it keeps going. Helm of the Host is insane. Eldrazi Monument, hopefully we're going to have enough so we don't have to sacrifice this, but +1/+1, okay, we want our indestructible, that's the key here. Gilded Lotus, just for some more mana. Minion Reflector, when non-token creature enters, pay 2, you make a copy. You do sacrifice at the end of turn, but hopefully that's all you need to just get a token copy of something that Brudiclad can turn all of your tokens into. Mirror works very similar as well. It does work with artifacts as well instead of just creatures, so not bad. Myr Turbine, great way to just tap and make a Myr token. And if we have 5 Myr, you can search for our Myr Battlesphere and just start killing people that way too. Tamio's Journal, one I think of our last types of tokens here are clues. So at the beginning of your upkeep, put a clue token into play. So you got a bunch of, you need to get out of a situation, turn everything you've got into clues, start crunching them for 2 each, and see what you get out of those draws. Immortal Sun, just some card draw. There's only one Planeswalker in this deck, so hopefully it won't shut us down too bad. Making things cheaper, making things bigger, all that stuff. Akroma's Memorial, again, just like the Eldrazi Monument, just beefing things up. A little less resilience to our board, but still a great card. Into Enchantments, Rhystic Study, everybody's least favorite or most favorite, depending on which side you're on. Efficient Construction, similar to Sai, and I think Thopter Spy Network we'll see in a bit. Just some more tokens whenever we cast artifact spells. Mechanized Production, another win condition, just looking to copy whatever we want. Make a token copy again so you can make something insane. And just trying to win the game with 8 copies of something, which we could all shift whenever we need with Brudiclad. Storm the Vault here, pretty easy if we get our 5 artifacts flipping into a kind of sane Tolarian Academy on the second side. Thopter Spy Network, of course, a little bit of draw in that second phrase, and then, of course, adding a Thopter every turn if we control an artifact. Followed Footsteps, this is one of my favorite cards. Beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's anything like a creature on the battlefield. So, again, somebody's got something really good, just make a copy of it. Metallurgic Summoning, there's a lot of instants and sorceries for my style in this deck, so if we can cast them, get an XX colorless construct, even if it's like a 5/5 or something, you can copy all your Myrs or Thopters into 5/5s, and you can pay that instant speed ability just to return all sorceries to your hand, and the artifact clause shouldn't be an issue there. So good kind of recursion there. Rite of the Raging Storm, just making a 5/1 that can't swing at you, So every turn, if you just have a 5/1, that's a pretty decent way to or thing to flip your tokens into. I know, into instance. I'm not a huge fan of Cyclonic Rift. I think it is the second most played card in EDH. It's got to be in here. Although you'd catch me dead before I cast it. I'm just kidding. It's a great card. Cackling Counterpart, just to, again, to make copies of stuff, and it's got flashback, so if you get wiped out, you can kind of rebuild here. Spell Swindle. These ones are cool, just like Plasm Capture or any of those other ones. Create X treasure tokens, essentially, and you can either keep the treasure or sack them. Great way to win, say, with Mechanized Production or the Hellkite Tyrant. But again, if you counter something that costs 8, all of a sudden you've got 8 gold tokens that you can flop into, say, even a Myr at least, or a 10/10 Eldrazi at most. Supplant Form, another like bounce, so you can set somebody back and make a copy for yourself. Ancestral Vision, just for some draw as our first sorcery. Gamble, some search. Of course, you can include Fabricate here, given the number of artifacts. Tempt with Vengeance, just making a whole bunch of elementals and hope the whole board doesn't catch on. I've seen everybody vote for this card. I've seen no one vote for this card, so it's a little hit or miss. But even if you get, say, I don't know, 6 or 8 tokens out of this and then transform them into something amazing, hard to answer, I'd say. Rite of Replication, of course, fantastic. Tempt with Reflections, again, another tempt card. You make your copy of your own thing this time, so not too bad. Saheeli's Artistry. This one's pretty sweet. One or both, so choose both. Create a token that's a copy of target artifact, and then create a token artifact creature. Awesome. Brass's Bounty, another gold creator, equal to number of lands. So if you have 10, 12 land, pay some mana, get 10, 12 gold tokens that you can flip into something else. Clone Legion, you can clone somebody's whole board, making tokens of everything, and then just choose the best thing they have and have a bunch of copies of them. Into our lands, Boseiju, just in case we need to counter like something like Spell Swindle or whatever, or keep that counter like bulletproof, or cast like a copy spell that really needs to stick. Great card to include. Desolate Lighthouse, just for a little bit of looting. Helmar Depths for a little bit of scrying. I tried to stay away from lands that come in tapped, so even like a Shockland, Steam Vents, I don't know if it's necessary for this build. Kirkkeep here, that second ability, just to make a 01 Kobold token. Reliquary Tower, there's a chance to draw a bunch of cards with this deck, so the last thing you want to do is have to pitch stuff at end of turn. Shivan Reef, just a little bit of pain for some fixing. Sulphur Falls, again, I think this one's pretty reliable given the number of land. I think there's 36 in this build. Mountains and islands, of course. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any includes, definitely put them in the comments for other viewers and stuff. Yeah, if you have any other commanders you want to see us talk about for Commander 18, put that in the comments as well, and we'll hope to see you for the next one. Thank you.